Welcome to the Tidarium Hanger Halloween special. Ha ha ha. Today I'm going to talk to you about possible ideas for costumes. Maybe it will help. Maybe it will not. Ha ha. Welcome back to the Tidarium Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with some costumes that I've put together over the past few years. I got dates all the way back to 2011, and I'm going to kind of show you what I did, how I got the costumes together, how I put costumes together on a budget, and hopefully it helps you get some ideas. You got 2 weeks to go till Halloween. I don't know if you care to dress up with your family, your kids, or your friends, or just yourself for fun. Hey, hopefully I give you some ideas that help you. First costume idea, this is back in 2011. Back in 2011 was pretty much my kids' first real Halloween. Had both the kids, and it was a lot of fun. But it was kind of stressful keeping up with real little kids while you're doing it. But anyway, this costume was about $50 back then. I think now they're trying to charge like 80 for it. And I want to get into discussing. This is the deluxe costume, the cheaper costume. If you go on a stormtrooper route, it can get real expensive. So I want to explain the difference between a deluxe costume on the left and a supreme costume on the right. So the deluxe costume on the left, they say they're charging like $80 for it now, and it used to be 50, but I mean it has been like 6 or 7 years since I bought it. But you got kind of a formed foam for the armor on the cheaper one. And the more expensive one has a more high quality plastic, and the Supreme one is $800. So we're talking, I'm not in the realm of spending $800 on a costume. In fact, I buy most of my costumes after Halloween for the next year, and so I get them even cheaper, half off, 75% off, or whatever, which is why I have so many costumes. But looking at this Stormtrooper, I think it looks outstanding in the Supreme, but I'm not spending that kind of money. And it's supposed to be 100% movie accurate, but I'm still not spending that kind of money. So with my costume, I actually ordered it, got it for like $50, and I didn't like the helmet that was with it. I wore it anyway, but I've eventually picked up another helmet. So if I wear the costume again, those Black Series helmets that were 100, and I got it on sale for like 40, so yeah, it works out. So the next year we went as a family at Jango Fett. I think it was 2012, something like that. So yeah, we were Jango Fett family, and this costume was $50 also, just like the Stormtrooper. But I'm going to show you a few things about that costume. Yeah, so all these deluxes for the Rubies Deluxe, they're asking $80 for on Halloween.com. You can shop around on eBay's, or you can find a lot of these different costume shops. And there's also a Star Wars costume shop also. So there's a lot of different places you can look and go to find these. But they all have the same issue. They show the picture with holsters and the guns, but they're not included. That's another like $30. So it gets expensive. It gets real expensive. Now I got mine for 50, and then I did spend 24, I think, was for my holsters and my guns. And my guns were still old school that made the right noise. Somewhere along the lines, I think there was a licensing issue with the noise. I know these are officially licensed items, but they weren't allowed to use the sound effect in it for whatever reason. So, and then they changed them to orange guns. The entire gun is orange and white, so I don't like that. So that's kind of a thing. Now, most people prefer to go as Boba Fett. And yes, I do like the character of Boba Fett a lot. I just think it was really cool and mysterious. And something about a mysterious character that never takes his helmet off. Kylo should have left his helmet on, but if you look at this, look at them side by side, I just think that the Jango Fett looks cooler. It's a cooler looking costume. I considered going this route, but when you look at from head to toe, it looks a lot more professional, even at this, what would they call this, the Deluxe Scale 1. I just think it looks better. I mean, for the same price point, I just think the Jango one looks better. But if you really want to go the Boba Fett route, you sure can. There's nothing stopping you. And if you want to go Boba Fett, you can spend $1,000 and get the Supreme Boba Fett costume, which does look better than the Deluxe. I don't know if it exactly looks $920 better, but hey, it's an option. And also, for the ladies out there, there's a ladies Boba Fett. Hey, if that's what you want to go as, it's an option. Don't forget, once you have one of these costumes, you can always wear it again like 4 years later like we did. And, well, of course, the kids got a little bit bigger, and they all got deluxe costumes, and it was that was pretty fun that year, running around. 3 Jango Fett's, Mandalorian team, killing it. Like killing the look. Next, I want to talk about a Batman costume that I put together, and this is probably my 2nd year of costuming or whatever. No, 3rd year. So I think we were into 13 that year, and yeah, you can really tell like by the kids and how big they're getting, and of course they got to be whatever they wanted. I was hoping they could be like henchmen or something, a Joker or whatever, but they didn't want to do that. They wanted to do something completely different, and I'm okay with it. Let's just let the kids be kids and do what they want. But with this costume, as you can see, what I did here was I got whatever costume the year before for like half price or 75% off. And then I went ahead and I sought that mask out. That mask was a pain. First off, the mask that comes with that costume sucks, and I haven't seen a good Batman costume other than the Supreme that comes with a good mask. And you're looking at $1,000 at the Supreme. And I wanted to go for more of the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman and not any of these other ones. That was just kind of what I was going for. So it's a bit of a hodgepodge of a costume. And if you can see, the one on the left would be the mask I guess they would suggest you wear with my costume. I got the one on the right, and it was too tight. And it even said it was too tight. It didn't have multiple sizes. You got adult and you got whatever. But I got the adult one. There's not multiple sizes. And I think I ended up splitting it in the back, and it fit better and it felt better. It started looking a little wonky, but still, it's a great looking mask. And I guess my wife's right. I guess like my head's too big. And for the ladies, you can either go as Batgirl, I guess, or you can be the Cat Lady or a Catwoman. Those are some fun options right there for you. And the ladies' costumes are a little cheaper than the men's costumes. One thing is, you usually have to buy decent gloves and gauntlets separate from all of these costumes for Batman. Most people are going to go as Joker this year. I don't know why. That's just a hunch. Next costume I have up was my Indiana Jones costume, and I did a lot of work running around just piecing it together. Got all of it at thrift shops, thrift stores, whatever, except I did buy the hat new, and you know, the whip was separate. I mean, all this stuff was separate. I got my merce, my man purse, my merce, my Indiana Jones satchel. Some of the stuff was at Goodwill and other thrift stores, and you know what? I pieced it together. I think I'm going to go as this again this year. But I think I just went back and I don't remember what year. But I just went not too long ago with the kids right here. And yeah, we had some fun. And it still held up fine. The cool thing about putting other costumes is you just can keep re-wearing them. Which is probably what I'm going to do. Just re-wear the same 5 costumes forever. Now on HalloweenCostumes.com, they do offer an Indiana Jones costume already put together for you. I can't tell you how cheap that leather jacket will probably feel and look. But you know what? If the costume doesn't pull it off and look good enough, it says Indiana Jones on the hat and on the jacket for you, so everybody can know exactly what you're going for, whether you truly achieved it or not. This comes with a hat and a jacket and a pants. You have to get your own shirt and your own whip. It doesn't come with a whip. See, I really get tired of these promo pics not including everything in the promo pic. Like if you got a costume and it shows the costume, why not include everything in the picture? But this was a pretty good costume, and I think that if you really went after just putting it together yourself, you could put it together a decent Indiana Jones costume for real cheap, on the cheap. Next up is probably one of my favorite costumes, and this is the Back to the Future Marty McFly costume. I've worn it twice now. You saw this in my DeLorean video, and I did a video about my friend's DeLorean, and it was fun to put together. Not too expensive. The most expensive part, well, actually it was pretty expensive. The shoes were about $100. That little hoverboard's $50, and then everything else was pretty cheap. I think I got $16.99 for the vest. I got it at JCPenney's, and I had a coupon. And then everything else is just stuff I got at thrift stores and stuff for $4 or $5 each. And with this, the jeans, of course, if you want to be authentic, you can't have those jeans with that wash in the front, like where it's kind of faded down the front, because that just wasn't right. That's not what he wore in the movie, so it wouldn't make it right. Finding that shirt, that white shirt, that was the hardest part. That just looked sort of 80s-ish and matched what he was wearing. But yeah, they also sell a costume just like this. So all you get with this costume is the vest, I think the jacket and the shirt. No, the vest and the 2 shirts. It's not really a jean jacket underneath. It's just a shirt. So, but it gives you the look, and I guess you got to get your own little milkshake Nikes on your own. Figure that out. But yeah, I mean, this is more accurate to it. Mine was more of a hodgepodge of the 2 movies smashed together. And you know, they can also, you can get this jacket, and I'm not a big fan of this jacket myself, but it's interesting how the jacket kind of looks like the same orange vest is still included or still worked into his style in 2015. And yeah, I guess you can adjust the jacket too. It's got some Velcro straps so to make it, you know, longer and shorter and all that good stuff. I'm sure it doesn't talk to you. And for like 15 or 20 bucks, you get the reflective hat, and my buddy's got this hat. I probably should have picked the hat up too. And yes, for the ladies, they have a Jennifer costume. So if you'd want to wear a Jennifer costume, I tried to get my wife to wear the Jennifer costume. She did not want to dress up. She never wants to dress up. She put a Halloween shirt on, and that's her idea of dressing up. But she doesn't get into it like I do. But hey, I have a lot of fun. I feel like I'm getting older, and I probably would play the role of Doc Brown better these days than Marty McFly. So maybe I need to look into that costume soon. Boy, that looks like a pretty comfortable costume too. My last costume might actually be the greatest, and it wasn't really that expensive because it was bought all the day after Halloween, half price, and some of it even 75% off. I think I spent like 12 bucks on the shirt, 12 bucks on the mask, like 5 bucks on the hat or 7 bucks on the hat, and then the glove was another like 8 or 10 bucks, something like that. So putting it all together, I've gone as Freddy twice. The last time, I think it was last year? No, it was 2 years ago. Went as Freddy versus Jason. My son's name is Jason, and he was the Jason, so it worked out. And he kept the record of how many times someone complimented my costume, which was like 34. He kept the count for some reason, and 8 of those times they recognized we were going as a theme, Freddy versus Jason. So that was pretty cool. Now, if you're looking into a Freddy costume, I do want to point out that there are 2 types of shirts floating around. There's one that on the left is the one I got, and it's a sweater, and it will hold up year after year after year. The one on the right is like a real thin, fake type of shirt. The material is terrible. I don't think that thing would hold up for 2 wears. It might not even make it through 2 hours of, you know, running around trick-or-treating or whatever. So I avoided that thing like the plague, and the prices aren't too different. Like the sweater, I think, is like 24, and then that other thing's like 16 or 17. I would spend a little extra money and just get more wear out of that, as cheap as I am. But then again, you know, the day after Halloween, it's so cheap, it doesn't really matter, because I usually buy my stuff for next year, or at least that's how I've been doing it. But I wanted to bring that point up because when you're looking to make a Freddy costume, the shirt makes a big deal. And of course, for all the ladies out there, there is an outstanding ladies Freddy costume. And again, my wife doesn't want to go as a Mr. or Mrs. Freddy, but maybe one day we will do that. What do you think about all these wonderful costumes? What are you going as this year? Do you like to dress up? Do you not bother? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and Tiberium Hanger out.